cartoons, you would probably also enjoy video games. And I was one of those billions of people. If there was a cartoon character on the front cover of a GameCube game at the clearance section of GameStop in 2010, very specific, but it's 100% true, I was hooked. That's actually how I got into SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, which would end up being known as straight up the best SpongeBob game ever made. Pretty much confirmed because it's the only SpongeBob game they ever made a remake of. And if you saw my video on why they don't make video games based on TV anymore, you'll know that that's a big deal. Also, by the way, since I made that video, it's also came out that The Simpsons Tapped Out is finally ending its continuing story. It can be a bit hard trying to translate a 2D image to a 3D platform game, just like how the Timmy Jimmy Power Hour was. However, there are rare exceptions. South Park The Stick of Truth and South Park The Fractured But Whole are good examples of cartoon video games that do the fans justice. Not just because the original creators were actually involved. Think about it. How would a South Park video game even look like in your eyes? Because I can tell you one thing, I didn't think it would look exactly like the show, but it does. That shit blew my mind back in 2014. Unfortunately, back in the day, the same could not be said, because even South Park was guilty. And there are a lot of cartoons that, oh god, when converted to 3D or in video games, looked absolutely terrifying. And we're gonna go over some of the ugliest and scariest looking video games based on cartoons. However, some rules. It has to be a cartoon. So unfortunately, yeah, we can't no iCarly games or anything based on a live action show. It has to be a cartoon. Because obviously, trying to convert a human is going to be hard. But a cartoon character, oh god, the results are worse. So no live action shows, only cartoons. That also means no anime. Strictly simple Western animation. Anyways, let's get into it.
Ed and Eddie the Misadventures. Ed and Eddie is one of the best children's shows ever made. Hands down. Before Johnny Test and Teen Titans Go took this spotlight, Ed and Eddie was originally the longest running Cartoon Network show, running for 10 years from 1999 all the way until 2009 with a TV movie, which is honestly fucking insane. Weirdly enough, for a series as popular and iconic even as Ed, Edd n Eddy, there really weren't that many games made for the series, with only about 3 being released, most of them being on handheld devices, which by the way look much better. The pixels look better than the fucking 3D models, but damn 3D did not do Ed, Edd n Eddy good in any way. I can't say I'm too surprised because Ed, Edd n Eddy is a very flat, 2D and colorful cartoon in general. The animation style that was used for the show was one of the last of its kind, so it's understandable that a video game for a cartoon of this style and magnitude would be a bit difficult. But goddamn, I did not know it would be this bad. On top of that, the few cutscenes that there are were all done in Flash, which is pretty disappointing, because given that there's only so few of them, you would think that they would use the few cutscenes they do have to really show us all they got. Oh well, at least it wasn't the in-game graphics. Hey, you like the Rugrats? My sister loved the Rugrats. So, being one of the first and most popular Nickelodeon shows ever made, really the show to put them on the map, a video game based off the series was a no-brainer. Especially for a premise like the Rugrats. You could put the Rugrats in probably any genre. Platformer, party game, survival horror. And Rugrats, the show itself, is known for having this ugly, childlike, but charming art style. That's literally what the show is known for. At least one of the reasons. I mean, it's supposed to look like a children's drawing. In the PS1 Rugrats game, Riptar's Revenge, known and often regarded as a horror game. Oh my god, obviously it's not. I don't even know myself what the game is about. It features the Rugrats characters in horrifying 3D graphics. Listen guys, I get it. The 90s was a weird time. Just converting from 2D to 3D was a very hard but admirable thing. I mean, look at Mario 64 for example. But we had nothing to compare the Rugrats to. And with a show like the Rugrats, with its simple childlike animation, converting it to video game graphics was hideous. Chucky without his glasses has these beady dead eyes that suck out your soul, so I guess he's not the only one. And add that to the fact that things in the background are like blurry and like move around because of all the shitty pixels and the game running at like 2 megabytes per second. It makes it confusing to even know where the hell you are and just leaves you feeling like disturbed and confused. Also add that to the fact that you're playing with the beloved franchise of the Rugrats, doesn't make it any better. Oh yeah, and the compressed voices don't help either.